So here is a 48 volt Elite V2. We are on V2.7. We're going to be updating to V2.9. Just to go over a couple of the updates, changes on this V2.7 to 2.9. There is an improved balance algorithm, which at the top of the charge range should tighten up the cell delta a bit. Most of you will hardly notice, but you might notice a little bit tighter cell delta. There's improved cold weather operations, especially for some of the people that are on solar and battery heating for cold weather is very difficult. So if you're in very cold weather, you may notice some improved operation there. There's a correction to the CVL when you have a pair of, let's say, 12 volt batteries, and for some reason you didn't get a 24 volt battery and run them in parallel, but you got, just so happened for whatever reason, you got a pair of 12 volt batteries and you're running them in communication with Victron and they're in series. The reported CVL previously to the servo would still read 14.2. Now that's been corrected, so that if you happen to run them in series, it will report the correct CVL, which is the absorption voltage sent from the BMS to the Victron will now be 20. Actually, it'll be 28. There's a new CVL. I'll go over that in just a second. Let's see what else. When you are in external control with Victron Servo GX or other devices that can use the BMS information, for the 12 volt, it used to be 14.2 CVL or 14.2 absorption. We've lowered that just a hair to 14 volts for the 12 volt, 28 volts for the 24 volt, and then 56 volts for the 48. So when under BMS control, again with a servo, if you go to battery parameters, you'll see what the commanded CVL is. In addition, there is a little bit of smoothing on some of the data here. Come to find out, the Multiplus and many other inverters are pretty, they have quite a bit of noise in them. So you won't even notice this, but there was a little bit of smoothing and averaging that was added in to help smooth out the operation of everything. Update procedure we'll go through here in just a second. It's the same as before. If you've already done the update, obviously some of you guys received batteries already with 2.7 in them and you may have never done the update. But the update's very simple. Now before you do the update, I recommend that you don't do it if you're on a boat and you're underway on a trip. You know, especially if 2.7's been working just fine, and for the vast majority it has been working fine. So there's no mandate to do this update at all. If you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it at all. But if you do, I would suggest waiting till you're at your home port. Anytime you do an OTA, there's always the possibility that something could go wrong. So I would prefer that you did it when you were at your home port and you had a little bit of time in case something did go wrong. Epoch could get you a tablet out, and then you can do a direct download using the debug plug from the tablet that Epoch will send you. But the update is essentially the same. Once you have everything up and you have a good connection, make sure you have, you know, good Wi-Fi or good cellular, and then you'll just tap the OTA, give it a second, it'll swirl. It's collecting some data, and it can take just a little bit for this to happen, and then we should get a pop-up, and you'll get that bar. And then if you notice, it says step 2 BMS. That's because I've updated this one previously to 2.7 using the OTA. If you're updating from a very old firmware, like say if for some reason you still had 2.5 or something like that, what you might see is you might see step 1 EMS, and then also there'll be step 2 BMS. If you get those, obviously click step 1 first, step 1 EMS first, hit start, and then go through the update. If you've already got a battery that's updated to 2.7 or you updated to 2.7, more than likely you're just going to get the BMS update. So let's do that. Let's hit start. And if you notice, our gauge also goes to 0%. That's not 0% state of charge, that's 0% transferred. So we're at 1.5, 1% here. This takes a little bit. Don't touch anything. If you're using your phone, don't walk away, don't walk outside. I would say don't answer any calls and keep your activity to a minimum, because we're trying to use all the data we can over the air to get this update in a good time period. I'm going to come back here when this is closer. All right, we're coming back. After about 65%, it really picks up the pace here. Much bigger chunks. As you can see, we're doing it here too. So total time to do this update was probably about 5 minutes. 100% disappears. Let's go. I've got a lot of batteries. It's the V2 48 volt. Go to the dashboard and then wait for this to populate. And there we are, 2.9. Now, one thing about the update, before you start the update, when you open the app, before you go to About and OTA, make sure that you go to the dashboard and let this fully populate to 2.7 or whatever it is that you have, because for maybe 10 or 15 seconds this will say V0.0, and what that is, it's the app interrogating the battery because this could connect to various batteries. It's interrogating the battery to see if it has a V version, and then uploading it to the data on the app. So make sure that you let that update to whatever version, and then you can go to About and hit now there's nothing to see here, nothing different, everything's the same. Alright, but it will have those differences that I outlined. Let me see. Alright, so hopefully that helps. See if there's anything else I need to go over. At this point you can resume normal operation. Again, remember that the new CVL will be 14 volts, not 14.2. So you should see it go to 100% when it hits 14.2 after roughly 15 minutes per battery, up to a cap of 2 hours if you have a ton of batteries. So for a 2-battery system, maybe after roughly 30 minutes you'll see it hit 100%, but your voltage will only rise to 14 volts or 56 volts on a 48 or 28 volts on a 24 volt battery. I think that's it for now. More testing, got lots of stuff to test. So, and as always, Epoch is always working to make improvements and streamline and smooth everything out in the operation. All right, have a good day.